Have you ever wondered why some truths disappear from the internet faster than bad memes? Well, this story will leave you with the feeling that something huge is being hidden, like interplanetary level huge. NASA published an image of the moon. Hours later, they deleted it. Just like that. No explanation, no excuse. Now tell me, since when does the world's top space agency accidentally upload something from space? This wasn't a mistake. It was a warning, and it came too late. What was in that image? An object, unidentified, but also not ordinary. Solid structure, defined shadow, and a glow that shouldn't be there. And the weirdest part, it was just sitting there. Not flying, not moving, just waiting. When it leaked, forums exploded, files vanished, and all that remained was the question that eats away at you. What exactly did NASA see on the moon that they don't want us to know? You're about to uncover what very few know, and what many try to hide. But here's a warning. After this, you'll never look at the moon the same way again. Because maybe it's not just a natural satellite. Maybe it's something built. And what they found there is just the tip of the iceberg. Most people don't realize it, but the moon isn't just a rock spinning around us. It's been watched with suspicion, from ancient times until today. And for good reason. There have been reports of strange phenomena up there since the space race began. Flashing lights, structures appearing and disappearing, shadows that make no sense. Even top astronomers have warned about these anomalies. So why does NASA avoid the topic? In 1968, a confidential report known as Lunar Mission Report 72A described luminous activity in the Aristarchus crater. The strange part? That document vanished from public archives and was only mentioned again by former employees. We're talking about something seen by multiple instruments in different parts of the world, yet no one talks about it anymore. It's like an invisible hand is erasing the past, and when that happens, you know something's being hidden. Now connect the dots. Strategic silence, missing data, hidden files, cut images. All signs point to one question. What did they see up there that made them bury everything? Because one thing's for sure, if it was just a rock, a hole, or a glitch, would they go to such lengths to cover it up? And guess what? One day, something massive appeared in moon footage. Something that wasn't supposed to be there, but it was. When an agency like NASA posts an image and then rushes to delete it, something's up. That's exactly what happened. During a live moon feed, a cylindrical object crossed the frame, and we're not talking about dust or a lens flare. It was something solid with intelligent movement like it was patrolling. Within 24 hours, the footage vanished. And the strangest part? No official statement, no explanation, just silence again. Sharp-eyed internet users managed to save clips before they were deleted. What they found would make even skeptics uneasy. Shadows cast on the lunar surface, changes in terrain, and a glow that didn't match any known tech. The object seemed to emit timed pulses of light, a pattern that some believe could be a form of communication. Communication from whom? Aliens? Probes? Whatever it wasn't from Earth. The creepiest part isn't just the object, it's the reaction from those who should be explaining. When an organization that prides itself on transparency hides something like this, what else are they not telling us? Maybe the real question isn't what was that thing, but why are they so desperate for us not to see it? And that's not even the only case. Similar objects were spotted on Mars. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. When something massive happens out there and no one talks, maybe that's the biggest clue that something serious is going on. Think about it. Dozens of telescopes pointed at the sky, billions invested, and suddenly dead silence. Isn't that strange? What if I told you this exact behavior has happened before, whenever a UFO showed up where it shouldn't? Stories about aliens don't just come from nowhere. They appear like weeds in fertile soil every time science goes quiet and truth gets buried. One example, the SOHO telescope from NASA that was mysteriously shut down for days after capturing an anomaly on the solar surface. Coincidence? Sure, if you believe in fairy tales. But if you watch the patterns, you know when they shut off our eyes in the sky, it's because there's something they don't want us to see. And maybe UFOs aren't just flying objects. What if they're signals, messages? Maybe they're not just flying around, but trying to get our attention. To truly see, we need to ask the right question. What are they hiding? Because when the dust kicks up that fast, something probably crashed. And this is just the beginning. Things get even weirder when we look at what was found on the surface of the moon. Before telescopes were aimed at Mars, astronauts were already whispering secrets about it. But what came next was even crazier. During the Mars Global Surveyor mission, a leaked image showed what looked like a structure. Yes, a geometric structure, with sharp lines, symmetry, and a defined shadow, not your average rock. Days later, the image was pulled from official databases. Another coincidence? The photo made waves in fringe science circles, and some independent researchers compared the pattern to ancient megalithic structures found on Earth. The theory? Aliens might have left traces behind, or worse, they might still be there. It's poetic in a way. If humans took millennia to build pyramids, why is it so far-fetched that an advanced intelligence did the same on another planet? Here's the kicker. Declassified documents from FOIA show NASA has coordinates of specific regions on Mars that were never publicly released. What's there that we're not supposed to see? What was discovered that made them shift entire exploration plans? As always, the truth seems buried, or in this case, hidden under Martian dust. And guess what? The next planet in this cover-up story? It's even farther and darker. Saturn has always been shrouded in mystery. But things got real when the Cassini mission captured something strange near its rings. A massive object, elongated and metallic-looking, appeared between the bands and stayed visible long enough to be recorded by multiple instruments. This wasn't space dust. This was a presence. And like clockwork, the files were quickly reclassified. It looked more like a mothership than anything else. Independent scientists claim the object wasn't just moving, it was interacting with the rings, almost like it was extracting something. Similar sightings go back to the 1980s, but no one connected the dots until now. Are we looking at aliens with ancient technology quietly operating throughout our solar system? Or is Saturn guarding a secret older than humanity? The question isn't just what is it, it's why are they hiding it? We're raised to think space is empty, but maybe what's out there is so outrageous, so far beyond us, that the only way to cope is to hide it. And just when we think it can't get weirder, a buried NASA revelation links Saturn to something even more bizarre, the true origin of the moon. Most people think the moon has always been there, watching over us. But not all scientists agree. There are ancient records, military documents, and academic theories that suggest the moon was placed there, deliberately. That's right, an artificial structure, possibly even hollow, orbiting Earth for reasons no one dares say out loud. A giant UFO in disguise? Sounds wild, until you look at the numbers. During the Apollo 12 mission, a module was crashed into the moon on purpose. The result? The moon rang for hours, like a bell. Even NASA engineers said it behaved like a hollow metal shell. So what kind of celestial body acts like that? One with internal cavities? Artificial structure? That's why many believe aliens may have built or modified the moon. Maybe as a base or a prison? The data doesn't lie. To top it off, massive craters with shallow depths and smooth bottoms have puzzled scientists for decades. How do you get giant impact holes without matching debris? It all points to something that defies standard space geology. And when the leaks began, what did NASA do? Silence. Detailed files vanished from public servers, and what's left is blurred, cut, or inconclusive. But the real shock came when someone or something was spotted on the moon. Signals, not static. Not noise, signals. In 2022, a Canadian observatory picked up a series of pulses coming from the direction of the moon. The frequency? Repetitive. The pattern? Mathematical. The first guess was natural, maybe a neutron star, maybe cosmic interference. But no, the source was fixed, close and centered in a specific lunar region, Mare Tranquillitatis. Sound familiar? That's where Apollo 11 landed. Too much coincidence to ignore. These pulses weren't like normal radio waves. They seemed to respond. One researcher did the unthinkable. He sent a signal back, using the same intervals. And then, silence. But a week later, several satellite dishes malfunctioned at the same time. One even exploded from a power surge. It was documented but buried. Some claim the reply did come, and it wasn't just noise. It was a warning. Here's the eerie part. Some ancient religions speak of beings that live in the moon's glow and listen to mankind's cries. Maybe it's myth, but what if it's memory? What if these ancient civilizations knew about aliens long before telescopes? What once sounded like superstition now feels more like a warning, one we ignored. And it's not just Canada. A leaked NASA memo revealed similar signals were detected back in 1994 and wiped. Which raises the next big question, why don't they want us to hear it? It all started with a series of photos streamed live by an amateur observatory in Northern Europe. Amid the stillness of the moon's surface, a silhouette moved between the craters. Tall, slender, with long legs and thin arms. And it walked. Yes, walked. The operator thought it was a glitch, until other amateur astronomers around the world reported the exact same thing. A being slowly walking across the moon. And the creepiest part, The figure seemed to look up, as if it knew it was being watched. NASA, of course, made no comment, but independent investigators started comparing data from private satellites and telescopes. The conclusion? This wasn't a shadow, a glitch, or a hoax. It was real. So why wasn't it in the news? Easy. It doesn't fit the official narrative to admit there's intelligent life, especially not this close. What was seen could have been an explorer, a sentinel, or something ancient, something that's always been there waiting. Now imagine, what if that being wasn't alone? What if there's an underground network on the moon, connected to structures we can't even see? That possibility changes everything. And just as more sightings began surfacing, the ISS cameras suddenly started malfunctioning, only when pointed at the moon. Coincidence? Hard to believe. Which leads us to something even more disturbing: the signals. Back in 1994, during the Clementine mission, NASA mapped nearly the entire moon. But here's the creepy part. Some regions were simply not included. Entire areas were censored, blurred, or downgraded in resolution. And surprise, those same areas line up exactly with where the signals were detected. Another coincidence? Or a deliberate cover-up? Many believe these invisible zones are where the real secrets lie. Not because there's nothing, but because there's too much. It wasn't just the missing images. A former mission engineer, who remained anonymous, claimed that raw images showed hexagonal structures which were cleaned before public release. Structures that looked like portals or even cities. The creepiest part? He said that when he tried to speak up, he got a direct threat. For humanity's sake, stay quiet. Now ask yourself, what could be so dangerous that just knowing about it is a risk? And when you think you've heard enough, a declassified Pentagon report reveals the moon is considered an external surveillance object. Not just a passive satellite, but an active base operating for unknown reasons. That changes everything. Because if the moon is a base, then who is using it? And even more disturbing, why have we never been told the dark side of the moon? Just the phrase gives you chills, doesn't it? It's the side we never see, never lights up, and always raises questions. That's where several unmanned missions have gone. But strangely, with results that never made it to the public. Some of those probes just stopped responding. Others sent back blurry, distorted images as if something was jamming them. And the weirdest part? All of them approached a very specific zone, a point where, supposedly, there's a massive opening in the moon's surface. This entrance has been spotted by independent astronomers and appears in a few old images that miraculously escaped censorship. It's hexagonal in shape and gives off a faint greenish glow that pulses. Some theorists, and even ex-NASA employees, believe it's a subterranean hangar, or a portal linking the moon's interior to another dimension, or maybe somewhere else in the universe. As crazy as it sounds, that idea makes more sense than just a rock. Now think about it, if there's an entrance, if there are structures, if there are signals, then there must be intelligence, a presence that's working silently, watching, waiting. And the scariest part? This opening is only visible under specific conditions, as if something is actively cloaking it. That's not random, that's advanced engineering. And where there's engineering, there's intent. So now the real question is, what's the intent? And who's really behind all of this? So tell me, after hearing all this, do you still think we're alone? Or has humanity's biggest secret been hovering above our heads this whole time? Every censored file, every deleted image, every chilling silence, it's not a glitch, it's a pattern. And the question now isn't whether aliens exist, it's why haven't we been told? And maybe more importantly, what are they preparing us for? Now that you've seen all this, what will you do with it? Shrug it off? Or start looking up with a new mindset? Will you research, question, and connect the dots? Because truth doesn't knock, it hides, and only those who seek it will find it. Start observing, start questioning, and never settle for silence again. If you believe there's more out there than what they've told us, then hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Here we go deep into the mysteries, the secrets, and the truths buried beneath decades of lies. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Which revelation blew your mind the most? Because the next piece of this puzzle might be closer than we think.